In this video, I'm going to give you a free bench press program that's going to get you to a 2-plate bench and even beyond. So a few years ago, I was in exactly the same position you're in right now. My bench press sucked. I couldn't bench press 2 plates no matter how hard I tried. I followed those like generic strength training programs like 5x5, 5-3-1, Texas method, all the standard ones, and my bench press didn't get any stronger. My technique felt all over the place, the weight felt so heavy in my hands, and if I would put an extra 2.5 kilos on the bar, I'd start failing reps. I even considered like buying those little micro plates to put on the bar because my progress was so slow. Nowadays, after learning more about programming, I can bench press 160 kilos, and I've helped tons of other lifters to do the same. I've even coached like 160 kilos, 70 kilo, 80 kilo, like 190 kilo plus benchers, and I want to help you to improve yours. So in this video, I'm going to outline a completely free bench press program, and then if you want faster results, you can go ahead, click the top link in the description for a paid program that has 60 plus weeks of training, and it's all done for you. So I remember the very first time I tried to bench press. I was super skinny, 6 feet tall, like 60 kilos body weight, 132 pounds, and I couldn't even bench the empty 20 kg barbell. I consider myself to have average or below average genetics, and like all of my mates were there benching easily the first time they did it, putting extra weight on the bar and stuff like that. And there was me, couldn't even do the bar, and it took me years to get to 2 plates, which for some other people is quite an easy task to get to. So I've put in a lot of work to improve my bench press, and I want to share some things with you that I've learned over the years. So let me get straight into it and just give you the program straight away and not waste any of your time. So if you want to hit your first 2-plate bench press, follow the exact program that I outline in this video. Follow it for at least 12 weeks. If it's working for you, keep going as long as possible, and I promise you, you will hit some PRs. So Block 1, this is going to be the overall training microcycle structure. So basically, I'm going to have you benching 4 times a week with a barbell 3 times a week just to ease you in. And then the 4th one is going to be a flat dumbbell press, okay? Just to kind of ease you into higher frequency benching, because I'm guessing you watching this video, you probably currently bench like once or twice a week, maybe 3 times, but probably not. So I don't want to like chuck you into 4 times a week straight away. And if you're thinking like 3 to 4 times a week benching is way too much, watch this video on bench press frequency, and that will kind of explain why I recommend that you bench a little bit more often. So I'm going to put the layout of the actual training block on screen for you so you can see it. But essentially, we've got 3 bench press days and 1 flat dumbbell press day, okay? So on Monday, we're going to be doing our primary bench press. And by primary bench press, I mean this is going to be like our highest priority. This is our standard bench press that we are going to set up to push as much weight as possible. So using the technique that allows you to lift as much weight as you can. So a grip width that it produces a vertical forearm. We're going to have a little bit of an arch in our back. We're going to use leg drive. So this is the one that we're really prioritizing through the week, okay? On this one, we're going to be working up to a top single at RPE 8. So this basically means you need to work up to a single at approximately like 90 to 92% of your estimated 1 rep max. And it's going to be a single that you have 2 reps left in the tank, okay? So just think of it as like your 3 rep max, and you're going to take that for a single. It's like a nice heavy top set that gives us some skill practice, and it also acts as kind of a benchmark for progress, because if this single is going up week to week at the same effort, we know that the program is working. If it's not, then we probably need to change something, and I'll give you a couple tips at the end of this video on how to do that. So first, you're going to do a single at RPE 8, okay? So to do that, I would basically just recommend that you start with the empty bar, and then you slowly add weight and taper the reps down. So for example, if you were going to do a top single at 80 kilos, let's just say that's your single at RPE 8, you might do the bar for 5 reps, you might do 40 kilos for 4 reps, you might do 55 kilos for 3 reps, 65 kilos for 2 reps, 75 kilos for 1 rep, and then you do your 80 kilo single, okay? And we want that last warm up to be close enough to the top single that it kind of like informs us of how our performance is for the day. So that just kind of will ensure that we don't overshoot the RPE. So basically, we're going to do that top single, RPE 8. Then we're going to take 20% off the bar for 4 sets of 5 reps, okay? So let's say you did 80 kilos for your top single. We're going to take off 20%, which is about 16 kilos. And then we're going to do like around 65 kilos for 4 sets of 5. It's going to feel much easier than you've been doing on these intermediate programs. But I promise you, it's going to most likely produce better results than you've experienced. Obviously, people are different, but I'm willing to bet based on my coaching experience that it's going to benefit you. So that's Monday's bench press day. That's the primary bench day, okay? Tuesday, we have a lower volume bench day with a 3-count pause. So the reason we have a 3-count pause is 1, to build some confidence on the chest, 2, to get a little bit of weight off the bar so we can manage fatigue, okay? And the volume here is quite low as well so that we can facilitate recovery. Think of it as like a kind of like a primer bench press session to kind of bridge you from your primary day into your other bench press exposures. So it's just enough benching to like keep the skill practice going without fatiguing you too much, okay? So for the 3-count pause bench, we've just got 3 ascending triples at RPE 5, 6, and 7. So same kind of thing again. If we're working up to a set of 3 at RPE 7, meaning 3 reps left in the tank, because RPE 7 means 3 reps in reserve. If we say that is like 70 kilos for you watching this video, so 70 kilos is going to be our top set. That second set is probably going to be 65 and then 60 kilos. So we go 60, 65, 70. And to work up to that, again, you could do the bar for a set of 5. You could do 40 kilos for 4. You could do 50 kilos or 55 kilos for 3. And then we could jump up into that next set and we just slowly add a little bit of weight in accordance with the RPE targets. And you're just going to pause the bar on your chest for a 3 count and then press, okay? Really good way to kind of build some confidence, improve your technique, because with the bar on your chest for a 3 count, you really get a bit of time to think about how you're going to press and elbow position and stuff like that and using leg drive, okay? So those are the first 2 bench days. Then we've got a day off on Wednesday. On Thursday, we've got a flat dumbbell press. So the reason for this is because it's very similar to the bench press. It's very specific. The joint angles are very similar. The range of motion is very similar. But again, it's a little bit lighter, so it facilitates some recovery. And for this, we've got 3 ascending sets of 8. So on the 3-count pulls bench, we did ascending sets of 3. We're doing exactly the same thing here, just for sets of 8. So let's say that you can press, for your top set, 8 reps at RPE 8, so 2 reps in reserve. Let's say that a good weight for you is like the 30 kilo dumbbells. So if we know the 30 kilo dumbbell is going to be your top set, we might have the other 2 sets as like 26 and 28 kilos. So let's say you warm up, you grab the 10 kilo dumbbells, you do a set of 8, you grab the 20s, you do a set of 8, and then you do, let's say, the 26s for a set of 8, and it feels like you've got about 4 reps in reserve. So you jump up to the 28 kilo dumbbells, then up to the 30s, and you're done. That's all you need to do, okay? So tips for the dumbbell press, basically just ensure you're using a full range of motion. So I'd aim to bring the dumbbells about to your armpits. Try and keep the elbows fairly stacked. So like this, you want the joints stacked. Full range of motion. Make sure you touch your chest on every rep. Optionally, you can add in a pause as well if you want it a bit more specific to the bench press. Now, on Friday, this is going to be our secondary bench press or our volume focused bench press. So Monday's primary was like a bit more intensity focused. Tuesday was like a bit of a skill primer type session. Flat dumbbell press is just to accumulate a bit more volume. And then this Friday session is again to get in some more skill practice and accumulate some more reps on the bench press. So on this one, we're going to be doing 2 ascending sets. So a set of 5 at RPE 6 and a set of 5 at RPE 7. So you first need to work up to these. So again, do your warm up. Let's say you're going to do a set of 5 at RPE 6 and 7 with 65 and 70 kilos. Again, work up to those. Then we're going to take 12.5% of the weight off the bar. So let's say you do 70 kilos for your top set of 5. We drop down 12.5% of that top set. And then we're going to do 3 sets of 5. These back off sets are probably going to be somewhere in the range of like RPE 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there. Nothing too difficult. Nice and easy sets, to be honest. We just want to get some quality volume in. Now, this is the main structure for the actual like benching work. And basically, the reason I set it up this way is because in my experience, most of you aren't getting stronger on the bench press because you don't bench press often enough. Skill practice on the bench is really, really important. And some of you might be thinking like, that's too much benching, I'm not going to be able to recover. But hopefully you can see in the program, we set it up in a way where the benching isn't like super hard and heavy and grindy. And the reason why on your current program you can't bench more often is because the benching you're doing is way too hard and you can't recover from it. So we scale the intensity down a little bit, and that allows us to do more benching. We can then improve our proficiency at the movement. We can accumulate more bench volume, recover, adapt, and get stronger. So put trust in the program, have a go at it and see how it goes. We do also have some accessory work, so I'm going to list that here for you. So basically the strength stuff, obviously the goal of that is to build a stronger bench press, to improve your 1 rep max and get you closer to 2 plates and above. The accessory stuff, the purpose of that is to build muscle in the upper body to support the main lifts. Now this stuff is higher effort, higher RPE, is closer to failure. The reason for that is because these movements are just inherently less stressful. So compare like a bench press to a chest press machine, for example. Which one of those is like systemically more fatiguing, do you think? Obviously the bench press, because you've got to think about technique, you've got to go through your whole setup on the bench, you've got to think about positioning, leg drive, all these different things. Whereas on a chest press, you just jump on the chest press machine, sit down, bang out a few reps and done. So it's nice and easy. So for the accessories, we've got a shoulder press of choice. I would recommend you use a machine or a seated dumbbell press. And for that, we're literally just doing 2 really hard sets. We're going to do a set of 10 at RPE 8 and a set of 10 at RPE 9. I want you to push these really hard, try and add weight to this every single week, and it's going to be really close to failure, okay? Just leave 1 rep in the tank. Reason for that is it just avoids going into that like red zone of fatigue unnecessarily. Then we've got some dumbbell lateral raises, 3 sets of 10, RPE 8 cap, nice and simple. We've actually got some front raises, which some of you might be surprised to see in there. Now, the reason for this is, 1, I think it's good for the general health of the shoulders to have them moving in all different planes, because we don't get exposed to these positions very much. And I think that's why a lot of people pick up shoulder pain, shoulder injuries. Plus, I think the front delts obviously play a large role in the bench press. And if we can get them as strong as possible, as jacked as possible, then it's a benefit. And most of you watching, your shoulders are never going to be too big, so don't worry about doing more shoulder work. Then we're going to finish off with a tricep isolation of choice. Again, 3 sets of 10 reps, RP 8 caps. So push these quite hard. My personal favorites are single arm tricep push downs, just because they feel good on my elbows. They're really low fatigue and just a nice way to get some volume in. So that is the program. Let me just give you some closing notes on like how to run it, how to actually like add weight to the bar and stuff like that. So I want you to run this program as written for as long as you can while still making progress. So literally just keep doing it over and over and over, provided that you continue making progress. You should you should aim to add weight to each of your top sets every single week. So that single at RPE 8, that triple at RPE 7, I want you trying to add weight to that every single week in accordance with the RPE. Listen to the RPE. Don't just add weight if it's going to make you overshoot and get close to failure. But ideally, we want you to be able to add weight to the bar at the same effort level. So if your top single on week 1 was 80 kilos at RPE 8, ideally next week it would be 82.5 or 85 again at RPE 8. We don't want to put weight on the bar if it's going to make the effort go up really, really high, okay? That might mean that you need to lift the same amount of weight for multiple weeks in a row until the adaptations take place, okay? So be patient. But yeah, so try and add weight to those top sets every single week. The accessories, push them super hard. Keep adding weight to them every single week. Like, try and beat the logbook every single time that you do them. And when you get to a point where the program's no longer working, you're feeling quite fatigued, you can't add any more weight to the bar, I would recommend that you reset and you start the block again. And when you start it again, I basically want you to start just a little bit heavier than you started it the first time around. So if on block 1 you started with 80 kilos for your bench press single, on block 2 you might start with like 82.5 kilos. And then we basically just stack these blocks together like this, and eventually you'll end up with a stronger bench press. Now, if you would like the paid version that basically outlines multiple different training blocks for you, it gives you literally everything you need to make progress. It's a lot more in-depth than this free version. Top link in the description is still very affordable, and it'll help you get super strong. So if you would like to bench press 2 plates and beyond, and this program is completely appropriate for anyone who can bench over 2 plates as well, then I would recommend that you run this program. Log all of your weights, like make a spreadsheet or have a notes page or something where you just note down the weights you're doing, the sets, the reps and stuff like that, so you can monitor your progress, and then come back and tell me the results in the comment section of this video. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video helps you to hit a 2-plate bench or even heavier. I'd love to see some of you hitting like 3 plates and above. Again, if you want the full version, look in the description. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.